Today, on the Daily Scoop podcast from the Scoop News Group, FedRAMP is in a state of limbo according to a top lawmaker. And the White House wants to boost cyber funding in 2026. It's Monday, July 15th, 2024. Welcome to the Daily Scoop podcast, where you will hear the latest news and trends facing government leaders. I'm the host of the Daily Scoop podcast, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for joining me. Here are today's top headlines. As the federal government awaits final guidance from the Office of Management and Budget meant to modernize and reform the Federal Risk and Authorization Management Program, one of Capitol Hill's top federal IT modernization advocates believes that the program is undeniably in a state of limbo until that guidance is issued. In a statement to FedScoop, Representative Gerry Connolly of Virginia, the author of the FedRAMP Authorization Act, which codified the program in January 2023 so that agencies had a common security framework that was more efficient and cost-effective, listed the absent guidance among other issues like agency backlogs and the vacancy of the FedRAMP director role as contributors to the program's current state. In October of 2023, OMB issued draft guidance, officially kicking off its campaign to modernize FedRAMP and soliciting feedback from the public to guide its work toward a final policy memo. Not long after, in November, the agency extended the comment period after receiving fruitful but challenging feedback from the public. Despite his criticism of OMB not yet releasing the final directive, Connolly said that FedRAMP is in fact progressing in the right direction, saying that not long ago, quote, "we were in the inferno, so being in the limbo is in fact an improvement," adding that there's a lot of good news to talk about with FedRAMP and that his hope is leaders can maintain progress and ensure the program is delivering for the government and FedRAMP stakeholders. Connolly also pointed to the administration's move to promote the presumption of adequacy in its draft guidance, the growing marketplace, software as a service payment clarity, and new initiatives led by the GSA, such as its emerging technology prioritization framework, as positive steps for the program. In other news, the White House wants federal agencies to ask for more money that would be used to improve the nation's cyber defenses, per a memo sent to agency heads last week. In the document, Office of Management and Budget Director Shalonda Young and National Cyber Director Harry Coker Jr. directed agencies to review and align incoming budget requests to fit the Biden administration's national cyber strategy and implementation plan. The White House's ask fits with the directive that federal agencies move towards fully mature zero-trust architectures. Agencies will submit an updated zero-trust implementation plan to the OMB and ONCD within 120 days following the memo's release, and be on target by the end of fiscal 2026, the memo states. The memo explains that agencies with federated networks should prioritize investments in department-wide enterprise solutions to the greatest extent practicable, in order to further align cybersecurity efforts, ensure consistency across mission areas, and enable information sharing. Additionally, federal agencies should also update budgets to reflect the critical infrastructure national security memorandum issued this year by President Joe Biden. The memo requires that agencies charged with overseeing a critical infrastructure sector prioritize resources and responsibilities. Budgets should also reflect the potential development of minimum cybersecurity requirements for each sector for security and resilience, and the improvements of open-source software security and sustainability. Agencies should both ensure that they're using open-source software securely while also contributing to maintenance and upkeep, according to the memo. For more news at the intersection of the federal government and technology, visit fedscoop.com. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Scoop podcast, available on all podcast platforms. If you've already rated the podcast on your platform of choice, thanks so much. High ratings and good reviews of the show help more people to find it. The Daily Scoop podcast is a production of the Scoop News Group in Washington, D.C. Adam Butler and Carlin Fisher help put the show together, and the entire Scoop News Group team contributes. We'll be back tomorrow with more top headlines. Until then, I'm your host, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for listening.